Imagine Rome, 2,000 years ago. The sun dips below the horizon, and the bustling, vibrant city begins to fall silent. No streetlights flicker on. No neon signs buzz. In most homes, the fires are deliberately put out. The city plunges into a deep, profound darkness. Have you ever wondered what that was like? How did millions of people sleep, stay warm, and feel safe in a world without constant light? Tonight, we journey back in time, not to the grand forums or the roaring Colosseum, but into the quiet, shadowy homes of ancient Romans to uncover how they navigated the night. It might sound strange to us, but for the average Roman, putting out the household fire before bed was a critical safety measure. In a city built largely of wood, with crowded, multi-story apartment buildings called insulae, an untended fire was a catastrophe waiting to happen. A single stray spark could burn down an entire neighborhood in hours. So, the rule was simple. Before you sleep, the fire dies. But this practicality was intertwined with a deep spiritual belief. While household fires were extinguished, some flames were considered so sacred they could never go out. Deep in the heart of the Roman Forum stood the Temple of Vesta. Inside, a sacred flame burned day and night, tended by the Vestal Virgins. This fire wasn't just for light or warmth, it was the spiritual heart of Rome itself. It symbolized the eternal life and power of the city. Romans believed that as long as this flame burned, Rome would never fall. Its continuous glow was a promise of security, a divine assurance that even in the darkest hours, the city was protected. So, while their own hearths grew cold, Romans could take comfort in knowing that somewhere in the city, a sacred, eternal fire watched over them. This contrast is fascinating. Personal safety demanded darkness, while collective security relied on a single, undying light. So, how did they actually manage without a personal fire? How did a family in a drafty apartment stay warm on a chilly night? The answer lies in simple, yet effective, ingenuity. Layers were key. Romans would wrap themselves in heavy woolen cloaks known as lacerne, sometimes even using multiple layers as blankets. These weren't just outdoor garments, they were essential for surviving the cold indoors. Families living in close quarters also benefited from shared body heat. It wasn't uncommon for multiple family members, or even lodgers, to sleep in the same room, huddled together for warmth. It was a communal way of life born from necessity. But what about light? If you needed to get up in the middle of the night, you couldn't just flip a switch. This is where the humble oil lamp came in. These small, typically terracotta lamps were filled with olive oil and had a wick. They produced a small, flickering flame, just enough light to see by without being a major fire hazard. However, olive oil was a valuable commodity, used for cooking and bathing, so using it for light was a luxury. Most families would use their lamps sparingly, lighting them only when absolutely necessary. For the majority of the night, true darkness was the norm. It's a sensory experience we can barely imagine today, a world where the night was truly black. Beyond the practicalities of warmth and light, the Roman night was filled with its own unique spiritual landscape. Darkness was often associated with spirits and malevolent forces. To protect themselves, many Romans would perform small rituals before sleep. A quiet prayer to household gods, the Lares and Penates, was common, asking them to watch over the home and its inhabitants. Some might even leave small offerings. In the city's many temples, night vigils were held. Priests and guards, known as the vigils, patrolled not just for fires and criminals, but also, in a way, as spiritual sentinels. Their footsteps echoing on the cobblestones were a reassuring sound, a reminder that the city was being watched over, both physically and spiritually. These hidden rituals reveal a deep-seated need for protection, in a world where the night held very real and imagined dangers. If you could listen to the sounds of ancient Rome at night, what would you hear? It wouldn't be silence. The city had its own nocturnal symphony. You'd hear the hooting of owls, which were surprisingly common in the city's gardens and groves, the soft rustle of the wind through the cypress trees, the distant bark of a dog. You might hear the faint clatter of a merchant closing his stall late, or the quiet, measured footsteps of the night watch on patrol. The city wasn't dead, it was breathing. It was a subtle, organic soundscape, a world away from the constant hum of our modern cities. This was the true sound of a metropolis at rest, a living entity settling down for the night. These sounds painted a picture of a city that was both vast and intimate, a place of shadows and secrets, and who ensured that the few lights that did burn kept burning. We've mentioned the Vestal Virgins, but they weren't the only keepers of the light. Wealthy households had slaves whose specific job was to tend to the lamps, trimming the wicks, and refilling the oil. In public spaces, like the great bathhouses or temples that might remain partially open, designated guardians were tasked with maintaining the sacred or functional lights. These individuals, often overlooked in the grand narrative of Rome, played a crucial role. They were the tenders of the flame, the human batteries powering the city's few beacons in the dark. Their work was a quiet, constant battle against the overwhelming darkness, a testament to the human desire for light and order. But the darkness wasn't just a challenge. For some, it was an opportunity. Imagine a philosopher or a poet unable to sleep, his mind racing with ideas. He wouldn't have a bright desk lamp. Instead, he might sit by an open window, his parchments illuminated by the soft, silvery light of a full moon or the brilliant tapestry of the stars. In a world without light pollution, the night sky would have been breathtakingly clear. Cicero, Seneca, Pliny, they all wrote about the cosmos. It's romantic to think of these great minds contemplating philosophy, science, and the human condition, literally under the stars, their thoughts flowing freely in the quiet solitude of the Roman night. For them, the darkness wasn't an end, but a canvas for contemplation and creativity. Then, as the first hints of gray appeared in the eastern sky, the city would begin to stir. The night was over. One of the first and most important rituals of the day was rekindling the hearth. A family member, usually a woman or a slave, would carefully take embers saved from the previous day or borrow a flame from a neighbor and bring the fire back to life. This act was more than just preparing for breakfast. It was a powerful symbol. It represented the return of warmth, safety, and community. It was the daily triumph of human resilience over the darkness, a small-scale reenactment of survival. The smoke beginning to rise from the city's chimneys was the signal that Rome was awake, that its people had made it through another night. Looking back, this relationship with fire and darkness tells us something profound about the Romans and about humanity. They mastered fire, but they also respected its power and knew when to let the darkness in. They found warmth in community, light in shared belief, and safety in vigilance. Their world at night was quieter, darker, and perhaps more intimidating than ours, but it was also filled with a different kind of richness, a deep connection to natural cycles, to the stars, and to each other. The Roman Empire eventually fell. Its temples crumbled, but the simple, enduring flame of human ingenuity, community, and the will to bring light back to the world every single morning, that flame never went out. It's a legacy that continues to burn within all of us. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into the Roman night. It's incredible to think about the textures and feelings of a past we can't see. If you enjoyed this exploration, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into history. Let me know in the comments what other aspects of daily ancient life you're curious about. See you next time.